Okay, we're ready.
Eastbound. It's in the Porter Ranch area, and look how it is just cutting through traffic with no problem whatsoever. As Stu has been telling us, this car has been going at high rates of speed, and in fact, we believe the original want for getting this car to pull over was indeed speed. So you can see right now, looks like he's in the number 2 or number 3 lanes right there, going at a quick, brisk pace. Now he's moving over closer to that center divider. But again, just passing cars going at a very brisk speed. And Stu, you're telling us anywhere from
100 miles an hour.
100 miles an hour and up, right?
100 miles an hour one for sure. He's just getting into the triple digits. That was the 405 right there, using just about every lane available to him this evening. And you can see that car just continues to move, zipping in and out of lanes. And again, this is a Honda Civic. I'm not sure exactly the year, a newer model, but now really trying to get that distance between him and the California Highway Patrol. I'm going to get a little bit of wider shot just to see how far back they are. We are listening to them. I do hear them making calls, but you can see that they've basically dropped very far behind. I'm wondering if they're even going to try to keep up with this vehicle because of these high speeds. And the original one was just speed. Right now, I probably would throw reckless on there as well. Looks like he's transitioning onto the southbound 5 freeway. At this point, we don't see any reds and blues, meaning no police or first responders behind him. But this vehicle continues to move extremely quickly, trying to blend into traffic, actually using the emergency lane as we're just starting our southbound transition onto the 5 freeway this evening. California Highway Patrol, I just saw him out the window a second ago, so they are behind him. They are making their way all the way onto the emergency lane. He's got a couple of options up here for some off-ramps. But even that little Honda Civic, crazy high speeds like this, there's some very, very sharp hairpins out here. He's going to have to be hard on the brakes, or we're going to see some action that driver might not be expecting.
Stu, do you know if the CHP chopper is also following along?
At this point, no helicopters except for Sky 9 are out here this evening over this chase. They did ask for LAPD is probably going to be the closest one. They might be making their way out here. I'll get that information if and when it occurs. It looks like we might be taking on Van Nuys Boulevard, and he's making that hard turn passing in the emergency lane, coming around a corner here. Actually, I'm very familiar. This is going to be Osborne. Looks like cutting some people off. It looks like we're going to be heading southbound on Osborne. Definitely in the Pacoima Sunland area right now. And it looks like his lights are off, getting into a residential neighborhood. Looks like he might be giving the officers a slip this evening. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll get some street names for you. But you can see no officers behind him, as the car is basically parking now in a residential neighborhood. And see if we can see this guy jump out.
And was that what we just saw there? The lights kind of flash on the car, Stu? Because it's pretty dark on that street.
Yep. Very dark on that street, getting out, very casual. White socks, I can tell you that. Walking one way, walking back the other. Maybe he's going to get back in the car. Why not? There he goes, back into the vehicle. A lot of times these people feel safer inside the vehicle. Maybe he's thinking if the law enforcement gets up close enough, or it gets close to him, they'll be able to, maybe they'll be able to start the car and take off again. At this time, though, we have no way to communicate with law enforcement on the ground. We're just keeping an eye on this car here for a moment or two, see if the California Highway Patrol finds this needle in a haystack. This is in the Pacoima area near Sunland. There we go. We got a light on it right now. A night sun. So there's probably an LAPD helicopter. I got to. Actually, it's it's another media ship. There we go, and he's off, and he's on the go, and that was pretty much the key. He's probably figured it'd be easier to drive away than try to hide. The car continuing to move now. We'll get you some street names right now.
All right, we're looking at a pursuit that's now gone from the freeways onto local streets in the Pacoima area right there. As Stu was telling us, this car getting off at Osborne. For just a moment, the driver got parked, got out of the car, then started walking around, and then got back in the car when he saw the overhead lights on and started to take off again. So still trying to figure out whether or not California Highway Patrol or local law enforcement is going to track this guy down. But you can see here, he's on pretty dark streets. There's that night sun again lighting up the car to at least let the officers and the public out there know what's going on, to definitely be careful. Earlier tonight, we did see this car. We believe it's a Honda Civic, a newer model, going at very high rates of speed. Look at that on the right side of your screen. That was earlier. when the driver got off the freeway and onto local streets. That was that right turn on Osborne, and then that right turn onto a residential street. We saw this car go very quickly on the 118 freeway, then on the 5 freeway, and eventually he got off into residential streets. Original one, as far as we know, was speed. This car is definitely this driver going at a pretty high rate of speed, and with Stu back with us here giving us this live picture, it looks like he is still on the go.
Yep, getting back onto the freeway, making his way back onto the 5 freeway right there. We'll see which way he's headed. It looks like he's back southbound once again. Starting to blend back in there. We were listening in on the on some of the CHP channels, and it does sound like the California Highway Patrol getting some wrong information. He got off on Osborne. We were hearing that they were getting information that people were saying that he got off on Van Nuys. So that's going to really kind of get a delay for the law enforcement to get back behind it. Southbound 5 freeway right now. We're definitely going to be in the Arleta area, making our way over towards the 170 if he takes it. Could stay on the 5. Little bit slower speeds, just not in the hundreds, but definitely passing vehicles. So you're probably guessing about 80 miles an hour this evening. I can tell you right now, Sky 9 is tracking that vehicle just about at 90. So we're probably right. So he's probably right about that speed. Looks like we're going to get way over. That doesn't mean he's not going to be getting onto the up. It does mean in this case he's going to stay on the southbound 5, and we'll see what happens. If California Highway Patrol picks it up. I do see a law enforcement helicopter, and I'm hearing them talking. So they're giving information right now to the California Highway Patrol that they have eyes on the vehicle and southbound 5 freeway, and we're going to be approaching Sunland Boulevard here in just a moment.
And Stu, this guy was originally wanted for possibly speeding, doing 100 on the freeway, right? So,
right. Well, we don't know we saw this car doing about 100 on the freeway earlier on. Originally, though, it was kind of, I've used the word nutty. He was making high-speed U-turns on the surface streets. He was on Chatsworth. He would make a U-turn. He'd get on Balboa. He was on Reseda and moving very, very quickly, trying to elude the officers from California Highway Patrol. But they stayed behind him. And then when we saw it, when he got on the freeway, that's when he really started to open it up, and he created that distance between this vehicle and the officers. And again, we only know this vehicle is wanted for speed, and a lot of times they have to weigh the odds. How badly do we want, how much in danger should we put the public to get this vehicle to stop? How much danger should we put our officers in to get this vehicle to stop? So in this case, this car is not slowing down. It hasn't slowed down at all. Speeds continue to move and continue to climb as we're working our way southbound 5, getting very close to Burbank. We're going to be passing the Empire Center here very quickly. Gives you an idea how fast we're moving. And this is going to probably get the officers back into pursuit.
And definitely, if he keeps going on the 5 southbound, he'll eventually make it closer to Griffith Park, obviously Dodger Stadium, and then into downtown Los Angeles, where, of course, traffic is going to be a lot heavier. He did have that one option of taking the 170 southbound, which would have taken him into North Hollywood and eventually towards the 101 southbound.
I want to thank you guys for tuning in to my live streaming. This is a police pursuit that happened several years ago. This is the Honda Civic that's being pursued by nobody. CHP units couldn't keep up with that Honda Civic. It's a 2013 Honda Civic, newer model. It's an LX that has technology features, interior technology features. This is a pursuit that continues on. The news helicopters continues on, speeding across the lanes, weaving in and out of lanes, driving very erratically, high speeds. At one point he was on the 118 freeway, then the 5 freeway, and he's going to be coming up towards 170 freeway, then the 101 freeway. That's a CHP pursuit that tried to pull that Honda Civic earlier, but it continued on, reaching speeds at 100 miles per hour in the Burbank area on I-5 freeway southbound. Now blending in, weaving in and out of lanes, going on southbound. Yeah, southbound. That's why I'm right. Okay, continues on at high speeds. weaving in and out of lanes, shooting across 3 or 4 lanes across the traffic, wanted for speeding, going around, passing commuters. This is like a race car. At least no black light, no blacked out headlights. The headlights are not blacked out. He has his headlights on so he could see what's coming in front of him and what's coming behind that car as the suspect. He's going around those trucks, weaving in and out of lanes, 100 plus miles per hour, and I can tell you he's going to continue on. The CHP is going to re-engage this pursuit, and this is what's going to continue on. And on that evening, and this car moving extremely fast at high speeds, whatever it is. What difference is he's using a blinker, then you look in your mirror, oh, you're going to see headlights in your car, you're going to look in your mirror, see the pursuit going by, thank goodness you guys were staying in your own lane. The CHP could catch up to that suspect later. This car, hopefully, this will be ending this soon in the next hour or so. And coming out of this Burbank area, and they're going to touch on Glendale and then to Los Feliz. Their next stop is he stays on the southbound 5, and they're going to catch up with the law enforcement. Law enforcement units are going to catch up with that Honda Civic later. This pursuit, they've been following this pursuit for about 10 to 15. They've been following this pursuit for about 10 to 15 minutes, and you see the driver who's speeding up. The last few moments or so, this driver continued on. As I said, this pursuit has been going on for about the past 10 or 15 minutes or so. The driver continues on. The driver got off the freeway, continues on the freeway, 5 freeway southbound, got onto the 118 freeway, then the 5 freeway, got onto the surface streets, parked the car, walking around, gets back into the car, drives very calmly, and now turns right. Just moments ago, the spotlight from the helicopter was on. They were right behind him, and he was gonna get away from the police, apparently speeding. No units are behind now. They're called off for safety reasons. I hope it doesn't hit into that. I hope it does not hit to that Dodger TFR. I think we are going to be getting closer to the downtown LA. And guess what? There's a game going on. It's a temporary flight restriction. Dodger TFR. There's a game that night, and it happened several years ago. Spotlight over this car, and he's on Griffith Park and hitting speeds at 100 miles an hour, not using his blinker, flying down the 5 freeway southbound, passing by cars. They definitely see reckless scene out there, and the CHP cruisers out there trying to stay back for safety reasons. They have to call off the pursuit for safety reasons now, because that pursuit continues on. He's driving very dangerous, erratically. That didn't happen with the neighbors getting involved, thank goodness. And if you guys are tuning in, thank you for tuning in to my live streaming.
Well, just going to let all viewers know, we are all huge Dodger fans, go LA, but there is a game this evening.
It's a TFR, I'm trying to say, TFR. So the news helicopters are not going to go into that Dodger Stadium because they don't want to. We don't want to make them. We do not want to encourage them to interfere with the Dodger Stadium because they don't want to. Not as if we do not want to encourage. I said they do not want to interfere with that Dodger Stadium. They do not want to interfere with the Dodger Stadium game going on right now because there's a game going on right now. They're gonna catch up to the chase a little bit later, so they're gonna have to stretch their camera ability. But I didn't say we do not want to encourage that. I said, but I do say we do not. Want to encourage. I keep saying we do not. I didn't say we do not. I said we do now, because they do not want to. I'm saying they do not want to interfere with the Dodger Stadium baseball game going on because it's a TFR, temporary flight restriction. You know, let those Dodger fans. Let those LA Dodger fans enjoy their game, enjoy their baseball game, and let it continue on. I know he's at 95 miles an hour, and I know they don't want to interfere with the Dodger Stadium temporary flight restriction. I understand, but they don't want to interfere with the Dodger Stadium temporary flight restriction. It's a TFR, so they don't want to interfere with that. It's a temporary flight restriction. TFR So they're gonna get the shot further, and there's a Los Angeles LAX's Dodger Stadium, LAX's Los Angeles LAX's Dodger Stadium, Disneyland. The news chopper cannot get to that Dodger game, so they are restricted from doing that. So the news helicopter reporters are doing their best. So when they get around, if they can get around the Dodger Stadium, they can climb on top of this. They're not allowed to fly and circle around 3 miles around that around on that TFR, because that's gonna be a big problem, and that's gonna be worse. And they're gonna set up this strategy. They can know the license plate of that car, and they're noticing this person. I know they're gonna shoot the farther camera shot video distance because of that Dodger Stadium TFR. Like I said, they're not going to interfere with that Dodger Stadium TFR. They have a baseball game going on right now. No, they have that baseball game going on right before. They have that baseball game right. They have a baseball game has been going on. The World Series baseball game has been going on for a number of reasons now. Like, they've had a baseball game going on before because it's a temporary flight restrictions. So I know it's a restricted TFR airspace. I know it's a restrictions of TFR airspace. I know it's very, very tough. It's very frustrating. I know traffic is a little bit moving. And he drew the 5 freeway earlier on. The news helicopter was okay, and then it got into the TFR. But they're gonna have to shoot a distance. There's a nice Dodger Stadium. I know they're gonna have to shoot a distance. He did open the door. It's a little bit foggy and it's a little bit cloudy there. They're gonna have to go around that. I know. And I know has no regards for safety whatsoever. No respect for motoring public. The car couldn't take it any longer. And then the pursuit continues on. This pursuit has been going on for about 20 minutes since the police started this chase. He was on the 118 freeway at times, on the 5 freeway, Griffith Park area. I know they're going to catch up to that news helicopter in just a moment later. And they're going to connect back with the news helicopter if necessarily. But when the pursuit continues on at high speeds, what I could say, this continues on at high speeds. They're almost close out of the TFR temporary flight restriction. They're doing a great job dealing with the Dodger Stadium temporary flight restriction because they have a baseball game going on. It happened several years ago. It's been recorded for about, since 2016, 2017. I know it's being pursued. They have a silver Honda Civic. It's a common car out there, in Southern California. They see all those police pursuits continuing on, a high rate of speed going on. They're going to keep an eye on that CHP. They're going to keep an eye on that car. And if they get their eagle eyes out, I hope they made their way out of the temporary flight restriction of the Dodger Stadium, because the baseball game has been going on for a while, quite some time now. It's been going on for quite some time. And this CHP had been called off for quite some time now, for a while now, for a long, quite some time now. And when there's a news helicopter where they're saying this is a pursuit going on, the CHP units are trying to catch up to this. They have their lights and sirens on. And they're going to find that suspect. Okay, they're trying to communicate. And I know there's a pursuit going on right now. And they're now getting off the freeway. I have to fast forward a bit. This pursuit continues on. I know he wanted for speeding in South LA. I know they're gonna be held back a little bit. It's a little bit of restricted airspace once again in South LA. I know it can get tricky for those news helicopters after the policy came up. Ever since the beginning of the year. I hope everybody's having a great year so far in 2026. I am too, and I know that the police airship with the night sun spotlight overhead, the news helicopters doing a great job. And now going into surface streets, reaching speeds of 60, 70 miles an hour. I know. Now working its way to westbound and moving slowly by block to block. This pursuit went on for about 25 to 30 minutes. I'm saying it again, this pursuit went on for about 25 to 30 minutes since the police started this chase. They're going to be on the 110, they're going to be on the 110, 105 freeway shortly in Hoover, and the LAPD unit right behind that car. Oh no. After the backup gets there, and look at this, the LAPD unit is going to have their sirens on. They're going to chase them. And this westbound 105, where you can stay in the New Hall area, 118, 405 freeway, and they're going to be heading towards the 105 freeway. And if it hits into the LAX's airspace, I hope not.
So Stu, at one point,
If it gets to that 105 freeway, everything will be okay. And I promise you, if it's not going to be okay, it's going to be restricted airspace. I know, doing about 90 miles an hour, trying to get away from the LAPD units, and got away from, like he did, got away from the CHP units earlier on, and then they're going to see behind that vehicle is the LAPD speeding in surface streets in South LA, and they're going to be coming up on the paralleling coming up to the Imperial Avenue or Imperial Highway. They see he's been on the freeways, lots on the freeways this whole entire time for a good 30 minutes. Since they've started this chase, right there on 105 freeway is going to be next to that LAX's airspace. LAPD, two vehicles behind them. Sirens on, then lights were off for safety reasons. And now, going to get onto that freeway. Okay, it's going to turn left. Wow, almost T-boning that car. And they don't need to quote each other. And on that, I didn't say we do not. I'm sorry for saying we do not. I didn't say we do not. I said the LAPD re-engaging this pursuit for a while. There were no ground units with that suspect behind them. They were actually behind that car. I know he's gonna get on the 110 freeway. The police helicopters actually picked it up. I think they're gonna have to. While using a turn blinker, once again, speeding up across the lanes, trying to get away from the LAPD and the CHP. That's interesting. They have the license plate. They have the license plates earlier on that evening. LAPD got overhead, turned on their night sun, surface streets. Earlier on, for the last several minutes, LAPD cruisers to slip. They had to get some other units back behind that car. They want to stay a little bit farther behind because the helicopter is overhead. Let this thing go into tracking mode until this chase is over, until the police units show up. Then, you know what? See this? Going onto the freeway, Willowbrook, 105 freeway, eastbound, with these high speeds and this erratic endangerment, high-speed chase. It's a big of a deal when they have to be dealing with some, oh my God, 110 miles per hour in the carpool lane. What is he doing? Not expecting that. I don't understand. They're going to have to weigh in because the weight of reflection, of how much dangerous that he's going to end up crashing if he continues at high speeds, so close calls. This is so bizarre, high-speed, dangerous pursuit. 90 miles an hour on the 105 freeway eastbound. The moment he's at 100 plus miles per hour. Then you got people in the commuters, everybody in the commuters, heading home from the game, heading home from work, and I can tell you that. Pretty aggressive, so ridiculous. Now, if he was a little aggressive, he would slow down. And at a high rate of speed, the police units are not going to continue chasing him. They're going to back off because for safety reasons. Once again, then using a right blinker to change lanes in the carpool lane, going around traffic. He's doing everything he can to rebel. This, oh my God, almost crashing into this. They picked up this vehicle eastbound the 105 freeway, got away from the Dodger Stadium TFR. It was during the baseball game when the news stations on TV had to take a commercial break. I fast forwarded. And they're swerving around cars, and the driver making a really abrupt lane changes, sudden weird movements, weirdest lane changes, movements that I've seen. One occupant in that car, that I'm assuming. One point, they backed up, lost that vehicle for nearly a while now. When we are here in this neighborhood, there he went outside for a while, went into the neighborhood, got away from the service streets, got on the southbound 5 freeway that he got back on. And if there were commuters in the traffic, you see a pursuit going by, let this pursuit suspect of the Honda Civic go by. Let this newer model Honda Civic go fast. Let the LAPD units and the CHP units catch up later. Don't try to be involved in this pursuit. Coming up onto Long Beach, coming up onto the 710 freeway in Compton, and then he's on Linwood, eastbound 105 freeway. Every lane he's doing, 5 or 6 lanes. I don't understand. Threading the needle, emergency lanes, HOP carpool lane. Wow, this is so close calls. This helps this debris, and there's going to be a spike strip up ahead a little bit later. I don't think there's spike strips right now. Sometimes they want to do it at 95 miles an hour with the station wagon or a car that's wanted for speeding. And then LAPD in tracking mode, that was the night sun overhead. They're not chasing that car. It's the ground units, the police air units of LAPD in the night sun tracking mode. The TV news helicopters calling it all, reporting it out to those viewers and those news anchors in the news station, 95 miles an hour. It was that evening, speeding up. Wow. Oh my God, we're getting into the area. My God. Let's listen.
That drives the 105 knows the 105 is going to be coming to an end here at the 605 shortly. He's going to have to make a decision. He's got plenty of options. But let's hope he keeps it at least to minimum speeds, and hopefully nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, let's bring you up to speed real quick here for the KCON Night viewer. This is a pursuit of a driver wanted for speeding. This is a silver Honda Civic that you see there in the center part of your screen, going way above the speed limit, 95, 100 plus miles per hour. And you can see some pretty aggressive driving, swerving from the left to the right lane, in and out of traffic. We understand that this police know who this car is registered to, but they do not know if that's the driver or not. Once again, Susie, this is LAPD pursuit. They have an airship above, and this is a driver wanted for speeding.
It all started in the residential area of the Granada Hills area, the Newhall area Stu was mentioning. It was on the 118 freeway at one point, and also on the 5 freeway. We went through the cities of Burbank and Griffith Park and through Legion Park. Looks like he's getting off an off-ramp right now. Are we still in Downey right now, Stu?
We are definitely coming in the Downey area for sure. Let's get you some streets here in just a moment. Back on U-turn. U-turns seem to be one of his favorite things to do. You can see one of the vehicles right there. I'm going to get a little bit out. Is the California Highway Patrol and LAPD above it. So this is they've got their ducks in a row this time. That vehicle making that sharp U-turn. He was doing that earlier on this evening a lot on surface streets in the Granada Hills area. So now working his way back onto the 105 freeway, working his way back westbound. But California Highway Patrol, lights and sirens behind him. That's going to give the public a little bit heads up what's going on. And, of course, that night sun as well. Let's see if they keep this. They're going to keep it in their sights this time, I'm sure. Hopefully he's not going to do anything that's going to be too crazy, and hopefully nobody's going to get hurt. High speeds is what this vehicle's wanted for, and he's definitely been proving that over and over again. 2000-something Honda Civic is what it is for.
2013,
Again,
hello, Honda
only thing they wanted
Civic.
this guy was for speed, so you got to wonder if there might be something else to this. Maybe the driver has some warrants, maybe there's something else in the car, maybe he's impaired. But high speeds is the reason why they wanted to pull this guy over. And, a speeding ticket is a speeding ticket. Now this is so much more.
Yeah, we were, as I was mentioning, the driver went through the cities of Burbank, Griffith Park, and at Dodger Stadium and Elysian Park. We actually saw we had to drive back away from the pursuit because of flight restrictions above Dodger Stadium, because there is a game going on tonight. And that's when we were able to, after that, near the 110, we were able to get back on this pursuit. Stu, I understand earlier we were talking about the CHP talking about possibly intercepting him at some point, getting ahead of the pursuit. Is that how they were able to find him again?
You know what? I'm not really sure exactly how they repicked this up. It was LAPD, somebody from LAPD with a good eye. Maybe this vehicle was still driving fast, but it was because of the license plate. And they picked this up on the 110 freeway south of the 105. So he had made his way south and was working his way back north again when they picked it back up. That little rope-de-dope that he did with those officers was on Manchester off the 110 freeway. But the helicopter was in place and actually saw the vehicle making those maneuvers, lit him up, and that's when the chase was kind of back on. And now with that helicopter, the LAPD helicopter calling out streets, the officers on the ground could keep up. Once he got back established back onto the freeways, now we're on the 105. Now it's back into the California Highway Patrol's hands. They have one unit behind this vehicle right now. You've really got to hand it to that one officer doing what he can. There's a second one right there, thank goodness. So he's got a little bit of backup right now, but this vehicle continues to use all lanes, emergency lanes included, squeezing between, making his own lanes, like right there. And that is what the problem is. This is the reason why they want to bring this to a stop. High speeds, it would have been a speeding ticket. Now it's going to be so much more. Again, you have to understand, this started all the way up in the Granada Hills area, maybe Porter Ranch. Now we're down South Los Angeles, Linwood area, 105 approaching the 110 already. So it gives you an idea how quickly this car is moving this evening.
Yeah, the center of your screen, there's that silver Honda Civic. That driver behind the wheel wanted for speeding, that's it. And that began around 9:30. Police put on the reds and blues, and that driver did not pull over. And then we are, at this point in time now, we're on the highway. This is East 105, over 100 miles per hour, the speed limit that he is taking. Of course, the posted speed limit there's probably around 65. It's always interesting when you see these pursuits. The driver who's breaking all these rules still has the frame of mind to use the turn signal when they are changing lanes, which is odd to me. But this driver, it appears, doesn't even have the nighttime running lights on. It appears like it's just the daylight running lights, because you'd see it next to the other cars. It's not as bright of a headlight as the ones. So you wonder if that's not even that person's car. If they don't know what they're, this is, maybe they're hitting the turn signal because they're not very familiar with this vehicle. We know that the police have said that they know who this car is registered to. We don't know if that's the person behind the wheel.
Could be a stolen car.
Could be a stolen car. It's got to be something more than speeding, you would think, because why wouldn't you stop for the police if it's, just a speeding infraction? But this is obviously a lot more than that. As we continue to follow this pursuit on the West 105 freeway, I believe it's going eastbound, and this is now in Linwood.
Yeah, that's right. And this is, still a lot of questions, as you were mentioning, Jeff. There's so many question marks tonight. At what point is this person going to run out of gas? And Stu was mentioning he's going 100 plus miles per hour, has definitely gone through many, many cities throughout Southern California on the 118 freeway, the 5 freeway, the 110 freeway, the 105. You got to wonder at what point is this Honda Civic going to be running out of gas? We know it's a Honda Civic. It's a newer model, pretty good gas mileage, I'm pretty sure. But going at that high rate of speed, I don't know how long that person is going to be lasting.
I do want to correct myself real quick. This is the westbound 105. I mentioned the eastbound. It's right there on your screen, West 105 freeway. Again, this is silver Honda Civic. The driver wanted for speeding.
Yeah, what else are they running from? If this was just a matter of speeding, if this was the initial want, then, why are they running? You got to ask that question as well. We don't know if this person is alone. We don't know if the driver is alone or they have passengers with them. We also don't know if this person is armed.
It's amazing when you get the picture like that and you come out of focus a little bit, you can see just how fast that car is going. When it's up close and you see him passing vehicles, it's not as impactful as when you take a look now. We got 3 CHP units behind. You see the airship as well, which is LAPD. And at one point in time, there was just CHP and then LAPD was just following. So now this is a full on pursuit, I believe. And you'll see 3 units behind. You see the car. See how fast it's going? And of course, the night sun is being provided by the helicopter and LAPD.
Yeah, let's go back up to Stu Mendel, live in Sky 9. Stu.
Well, northbound 110 freeway is our location right now, probably past Century already. I just heard him call out the Century off-ramp. coming up on Manchester. Now, Manchester's where he got off a little earlier on. Don't know if he's familiar with that area. Don't know if he was just kind of wondering if he could maybe give these guys the slip. Definitely seems like he's really pulling over to the right. You got that sound wall right there. So maybe we're going to be doing Manchester one more time. It does appear he's getting back off on Manchester. So perhaps familiar with this area. Sound wall right there. We'll get a shot of him as he makes his way around right there, which won't be long because he is moving very quickly. Working his way to the head of the line and running a red light. Crossing in front of a bunch of people right there. Manchester, that's the 110 freeway, going to be working his way westbound. But he's been on a lot of other roads. He's been on a lot of other freeways. Now, just because he's gotten off the freeway, northbound Figueroa from Manchester, just because he's gotten off the freeway doesn't mean automatically that CHP just goes, oh, we're done. LAPD, it's yours. They're going to stay behind this for a bit. They might hand it off. They might not. That's all in all the politics of the law enforcement. Right now, though, I'm worried about red lights. I'm worried about small neighborhoods. We saw some people standing out on the streets earlier on. This vehicle came very close to pedestrians. If he doesn't know this neighborhood,
let's see what happens
it
here.
just came to a stop. That is it.
Okay, his hands are out. That's a good sign. Police are probably instructing him to throw the keys out the window.
Bizarre. That's after all that and running around, he just kind of comes to a stop. But, Jeff, you are very right about that. The keys have not come out. He has played this game before. But right now, hands are out, weapons are out from California Highway Patrol. This was a very high-speed pursuit, weaving in and out, lots of strange goings-ons. Right now, though, doors open, so it does seem like this is the first time we're going to see that suspect besides his white socks from earlier on. Getting out, he seems like he's complying. Thank goodness nobody got hurt. And great work for law enforcement. You have to understand. One of LAPD's one of their guys on the ground saw this car, realized that was the plate. I mean, what kind of that is incredible work on that officer's part, and the pursuit was back on. They had lost it for a good 15 minutes at least, and it had made it last location.
Guess what? For the last 15 or 18 minutes or so, they've lost it at least 18 minutes. For at least 15, 18 minutes. Yeah, for the last 15 or so minutes here. And you know what? They've lost that vehicle for a while. That pursuit went on for about 35, 40 minutes. I'm going to say it again. This pursuit went on. They've lost the vehicle, got away from the Honda Civic of that male suspect, got away from CHP. That car got away from CHP for nearly a while. The pursuit went on for about 35, 40 minutes. The pursuit started on the 110 freeway, went on for the better part of an hour almost, speeding up, continued on, went into the Dodger Stadium TFR during a baseball game got going on that night several years ago. Continued on. This pursuit continues on. Adrenaline pumping, heart racing, going past all other commuters, no respect for those motoring public, got no respect for anybody. Almost got close to those pedestrians. Almost got close to that pedestrian. The suspect almost got close to pedestrians. Almost went into pedestrians. Almost ran over so many pedestrians that are walking. Almost ran over people, almost ran people over, and got away from the CHP. The CHP caught up to them. The South LA of that pursuit that ended in the surface streets, that pursuit went on for about 40 minutes. And the driver was on the 105 freeway, made a U-turn, got back. The news helicopters got away from that TFR Dodger Stadium during a baseball game. Thank goodness they got away from that LAX's Disneyland and the TFR area, the Dodger Stadium area, the Dodger Stadium TFR area that the news helicopters got away from. And they got away from the LAX's Disneyland TFR airspace. So they got away from it for nearly a while. Thank goodness. Good job to those news helicopters and the police helicopters caught up to those chase. I know he was in the carpool lanes, straddling over 100 miles per hour, plus 110 miles per hour at least. And I could tell you that this pursuit had made its way, then it continued on the freeway, then it ended in the surface streets. You had to wonder. Nobody got involved. Nobody was being a hero this whole entire time. The CHP units caught up to this chase. The LAPD caught up to them. Good job to those round of applause efforts. So we're gonna move on to that second back-to-back chase shortly. So last night we did an hour-long video. So last night we did an hour-long video without any issues, without no problems whatsoever. We did that with no problems. We did it without my phone overheating. Without my phone overheating, we did the live streaming for the better part of an hour or so. So what we're going to do? We're going to continue watching this. So this is a pursuit that came to an end. We did it. Our hour-long live streaming was finished as of yesterday. So we did that. It is the weekend. It is the weekend now. So it is the weekend now. We're gonna get to that second back-to-back chase. So a third back-to-back chase is gonna be coming up a little bit later on in our broadcast. So now as they're gonna be held back because they're low on fuel. CHP behind that SUV on the 101 freeway in Tarzana westbound continued on at high speeds, 100 miles per hour. Domestic problem that the person has been driving that SUV for about 15. The pursuit has been going on for about 15 minutes. We see the driver get onto the 405 freeway, now is going into that TFR once again, or a weather problem factor, or due to that weather conditions. I don't know. We don't know. So we're gonna hear from them. This pursuit has been going on for about 15 minutes. The driver was speeding up at 100 miles per hour that the CHP been chasing. They got overhead just moments ago. They got overhead moments ago. Woodland Hills, westbound 101 freeway, continued on, going past all other commuters, and they're going to be giving them the light from the airship. They're going to call that Pasadena, 100 miles an hour. This has been going on, I said, for the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. You see the driver speeding up 100 miles an hour in that Chevy Tahoe V8 engine, apparently, like the BMW 540i E34 1995 6-speed manual. It's $48,600 for that car. I know the Pasadena PD that they saw that vehicle. The pursuit has been on for the last 15 minutes or so. Worked its way from the 210 134 freeway, then onto the 101 freeway, Calabasas area. This has been ongoing. And now here that evening, that vehicle moving at about 85 miles an hour from the CHP that is joining Pasadena PD. They're trying to get this SUV to stop right now. All they can do is basically stay in their trail, keep an eye on this vehicle. They have a number of avenues that they could take, a number of exits. If he or she gets to that 23 freeway, it was a Friday night. If they get to that downtown LA area, unless there's no problems whatsoever. Traffic roads seems to be dry. They got overhead coming up to them real quickly, got away from those TFR temporary flight restrictions. And I see the construction work up ahead. Look at this. Wow, going around those traffic using turn blinkers. They get very tied up for that vehicle, for those California CHP highway patrols. They're concerned about the other people out there on the other roadway. They need to hold traffic now. Wow, going into those construction zones, going into those construction zones. This is going to be a very dangerous problematic for that suspect to get around. Now going around that big rig. Hopefully they could call some more big rig trucks to lend a helping hand from CHP. Wow, going into that turn blinker. Wow. Pinching them into the left-hand lanes. What are they doing? What is he doing? Out of Pasadena now, 101 freeway. Then I wonder how police do approach. Wow, they're gonna catch up to this. Very aggressive. Weird evasive maneuvers in the past. I don't even understand the size of that vehicle. It is stuff they always think is also be kind of inertia, and this what happens now. This has been ongoing ever since it was that night several years ago. That's a Ford Explorer CHP unit right behind that car. They're gonna push that rear end from behind it, ran the suspect off the road, and they can't do that. This is very dangerous. Those workers out there jumping out of the way, hearing those lights and sirens. Oh my God! You gotta look in your rear view blind spots. Even if you're working, if they're working, they have to look in their They have to look in their blind spots. The truck mirror is like it's no radar in that big rig truck whatsoever. You gotta be aware when the pursuit. They gotta be aware of that pursuit that they have to get out of the. They have to get out of the way. Unless they want to do a helping hand from the CHP to stop that SUV, but I don't think it's going to happen. I know there are CHP officers right behind that 2000 Chevy Tahoe V8 engine SUV. The driver of that vehicle had started this chase. That this person has no idea, has no respect for any motoring public, breaking every rule, 100 miles per hour. We love to do live streaming whatsoever when there's a chase going on. That's going on is the helicopter, the Pasadena PD. There's no light on it right now on that helicopter. They have to pull off now for safety reasons. But no, they could get on right now, right this minute. Using a blinker to change lanes, I can tell you that. Let's listen.
But there were some issues that created this the entire event. So she's still moving along here. Pretty good clip. I would guess we're probably going 100 plus is what I'm hearing right now. And we're if we were in the Calabasas area, we're pretty much getting our way out of that, entering the West Lake area. And right now, this car's still moving along. Officers from California Highway Patrol in pursuit started in Pasadena.
And you know what is interesting, Stu, because she sure is maneuvering this vehicle to have those mental issues that we've been talking about. And as she moves toward, as I say, she could take the 23, or she could just take this all the way to Camarillo and even head to the Santa Barbara area. That's getting a little ahead of ourselves. But if she doesn't stop, those are just the possibilities for her. They seem to know who this person is, since you said that they know that it was possibly some kind of domestic dispute. So be interesting to see if she lives in that area, if she could possibly be going to a home or a residence that she's familiar with, as we've seen in so many cases. But we don't know that yet, do we?
We don't, and I would believe, I'm not, again, just not 100% would believe that this all took place in the Pasadena area. Possibly this person living in Pasadena just got on the freeway and basically just been moving westbound ever since. West on the 210, west on the 134, and then obviously west on the 101. Moving very, very quickly, but now just as soon as I said that, she is moving way off to the right. We are going to be approaching the 23 here shortly, but then there's also some off-ramps that she could be taking. The vehicle moving very, very quickly. California Highway Patrol probably weighing what you just talked about. You brought up some very excellent points. This person distressed, this person might have some mental issues, and so maybe perhaps backing off might be the better deal, but they do want to keep the public safe. They do want to keep this person safe. If she is, might cause harm to herself, they're going to try to prevent that as well. This vehicle moving very, very quickly. A Tahoe, probably about the 2000s, and moving very, very fast out here. We've seen it being very maneuverable, but high speeds like that, it clips a corner, hits the car. This could be very dramatic and very problematic for any of the other vehicles out here. I'm going to get a little bit wider, but you can see how fast this car is going, and you get an idea that the officers from the California Highway Patrol, along with Pasadena PD, have basically fallen back a little bit right now. So maybe maybe they're giving her a little bit of that room, but trying to keep the public warned about what's going on. They will not try to do a pit maneuver. I can guarantee you that, especially at these high speeds on the freeway. Moving westbound 101 freeway, I'm going to get you across here pretty soon, but I can tell you we're going to be approaching the 23 very shortly.
You know, it's interesting how this individual who is breaking all kinds of laws, who is in the middle of a police pursuit, has the frame of mind to use the turn signal to change lanes. And yet this police pursuit that's happening right now in the westbound 101. It started in Pasadena. Just to get our viewers up to speed here, we're following this pursuit of a vehicle, a Tahoe, an SUV, a large SUV, going anywhere from 80 to 100 plus miles an hour, Pat. And this all started in Pasadena not too long ago with what they thought was a female in some sort of domestic dispute.
Yes, and you're right, traveling from the 210 freeway to the 134. I believe the last Stu spoke, he said this was an Explorer, a Ford Explorer, but still a large SUV, that's for sure.
The police car that's following it.
All right, well, so let's go back to the Tahoe then. And with the left turn signal on, and again, some kind of stress this person, a female, apparently is in possibly a dispute with a family member. You know, we know it's dark out here, especially as she's going toward, I keep mentioning the 23 because that's the next freeway that she can take, but she could take this all the way past Camarillo to Santa Barbara, go through Oxnard first if she would like to, but there are a number of streets that she can exit from. Doesn't seem to be the case, especially with that left turn signal that she has on there, but as Stu mentioned, they turned off the lights overhead, the chopper light overhead, but they are following her from behind. But she still seems to be going at a rapid amount of speed right now, and she has most of the freeway to herself because at this time of night, where she is now, past Topanga Canyon, past Parkway Calabasas, traffic is pretty free-flowing.
Yeah, Pasadena Police Lead Agency. We know CHP also involved in this chase. Again, this started in Pasadena, has gone through Sherman Oaks and Tarzana, and as we see here, it's gone through Westlake and now in Agora Hills. So this is westbound of the 101. Let's go back up to Stu with any information. Stu, I know that you continue to listen to what police are saying about this. What's the latest update?
Well, Jeff, Pat, sadly, the latest update is Sky 2. We've been up all for quite a long time. We were scouring down in the Orange County and out in the Corona area for news. We were actually working our way back to the valley when this started. The bottom line is we are low on fuel. My pilot and I are talking about what we can do, how long we can stay. We are down to minutes. There's a possibility that we might be able to get some fuel out in the Ventura area and then maybe be able to continue on. But right now, safety is number one issue in any type of aviation, so we are talking about that. This pursuit, though, continues on here. 101 freeway, you can see the speeds really picking up right now. I believe we're approaching the 23, and it does seem like she's getting off or going to be changing lanes out here as she's choosing the far right lanes. Very, very high speeds, and on a turn like this, it could become a real problem. Slowing down a little bit, you can see those brake lights are on right now. That Chevy Tahoe, big vehicle, very well built, and of course, designed to be very drivable. But see this movement right there on these transition roads, very, very fast. She's continuing on right now. 23 is what it looks like we're going to be taking right now. Looks like northbound 23, as we're going to be working our way out of the Westlake area, and then we're going to be working our way now north out into the Simi area if this continues on. The vehicle speeds still well into almost the 100 mile an hour, well up into the 90s and 80s and 90s. You can see how fast this vehicle is moving past all these other vehicles out here. California Highway Patrol still chasing her. Mental issues, that's what they've been talking about since the beginning. Possible domestic violence, possibly this vehicle used to try to injure other family members earlier on in the Pasadena area. Just getting a little bit of a wider shot there as I show you this vehicle working its way now northbound on the 23. If you know this area, it is very dark out here, kind of windy. It's going to loop around. You're going to get, if they stay on the freeways, you're going to get onto the 118, taking you through the Simi Valley area. Right now, though, this vehicle just moving very, very quickly. Hasn't been doing anything too dramatic. We have noticed the blinkers and the courteous driving as this pursuit continues right now. It's changing lanes, but it still goes on. And it looks like we're probably going to have to make our way back to Van Nuys for fuel, as there's not much more out here for Sky 2.
No, seems like he would, I don't know about the Oxnard area, Stu, out there at the base. That's pretty distant from where you are right now. It's just interesting to me, again, as you say, he's not driving so erratically, and it's to see her make the move that she's made and really not have an accident by now, or even overturn that. Tahoe says something about her driving ability. I guess you could say that. Again, the police behind CHP following her, the chopper overhead, they have their lights off, and of course Stu and Sky too, they need to go gas up again. This may go for, who knows, she can go through the Simi Valley area and just continue until she runs out of gas, as we have seen happen so many times in these cases. No wonder there's a possibility, Stu, would they possibly, there she is, she's getting in the right lane right now. Looks like she's about to exit, Stu.
She's just kind of moving off to the right lane. We're moving through the north still on the 23, so this is still 23. She's got to make a couple more big turns before she gets up to the Los Angeles Street area, then onto the 118 if she stays on the freeway. That light right there, I thought I could read that sign. Sorry, it moved too quickly for me. But still moving along. We're actually moving away from it already. We already started heading back to Van Nuys. Right now, just using that camera. We're going to stay with it as long as we can, obviously. But right now, fuel is an issue for us, and we need to get back to Van Nuys for fuel.
Okay, let's just update real quick with our viewers here on CBS 2. You're looking at the live pictures here of a pursuit on the westbound of 101 up to 100 miles per hour as this started in Pasadena earlier tonight. There was some sort of domestic dispute where the female driver in an SUV used that vehicle to try to injure somebody. That's when police got involved. Then that started in Pasadena, got onto the 101 westbound, went through Sherman Oaks, Tarzana, Westlake Village, Agora Hills, and I think it's now in the Thousand Oaks area, and that's
what our graphic says, Thousand Oaks area, and of course she can go on to through the Simi Valley if she takes the 118, or she could continue on to Camarillo, then to Oxnard, and possibly all the way to Santa Barbara if she has a full tank of gas. We don't know that right now. And as we mentioned, our shot is getting a little distant because Sky 2 has to go and refuel, but she seems to have pretty much the freeway to herself, not that much traffic out there. They will not do a pit maneuver because of the size of that vehicle, and don't know if they could possibly do a spike strip further up the freeway if they were able to stop traffic maybe and do something there. But it looks like they might let this person run its course simply because she has not been driving so erratically, and there doesn't appear to be a danger to any vehicles or people at this time. And if you're looking at our picture, get a little bit more distant, well, that's unfortunately we have to go refuel, and we're just trying to take the shot as far as we can that our camera will allow us. And it looks like it might be time that we're going to stay with this for just a little while longer, folks. But as you can see,
for about 3 more minutes, I could say.
Behind, far enough behind where you don't even see anyone close up on her tail, and the lights overhead, the chopper lights are off. Hopefully something might click that they're not actually pursuing her as much, or trying not to put as much attention on her with that light shining overhead, but they're going to stay with her.
Yeah, and they got looks like they have 3 units right now behind them, and that includes Pasadena Police and CHP as they continue to pursue this SUV with a female driver, Chevy Tahoe, with a connection to a domestic dispute that happened in Pasadena. Possibly, police say that SUV may have been used to try to injure somebody, so that's how they got involved. They were talking about 80, 90 miles per hour. Then not too long ago, that got clocked up to about 100 plus miles an hour, and I think that might be the rate of speed that she's going now, is that she continues to just overtake a number of vehicles there. There's light traffic, but she continues to overtake all the vehicles there in that roadway. And
we have to wonder if people can probably hear the sirens themselves and see the flashing lights and figure, okay, something's going on here. From what we understand, we believe she's on the eastbound 118 freeway, so she is going to the Simi Valley area. She's going to pick up maybe a few businesses in Simi Valley that still may provide some light, but still not as much at this time of night. It's still going to be relatively or more not as well lit as, of course, being in the city. And the further out she goes, then the lights will probably be even fewer and fewer. Stu, can you still talk to us right now, sir?
Oh, most definitely. What we've done with Sky 2 right now is we've climbed extremely high, up high. We're about 5,000, 5,500 feet above the ground right now, so that gives us that eagle eye type of view. It's actually behind us right now. We're still working our way out to Van Nuys, pretty much almost directly under us. We're almost at the Santa Susana Pass. This pursuit is behind us, working its way eastbound on the 118 freeway, definitely established into the Simi Valley area. We did see the California Highway Patrol and was listening. We've talked about it in the past. They have divisions just like LAPD or any other law enforcement or the Sheriff's Department, and they actually did a handoff. So now this is going to be the California Highway Patrol. There's going to be one of the Simi Valley units behind it right now. You can see those lights and sirens. You can see that Tahoe. It was going about 100 miles an hour at some points there, especially when it made that turn. It's established onto the 118 off of the 23. Right now, though, it has slowed down a little bit, as I'm hearing. Its speed's about 80 to 90 miles an hour, but it's still eluding officers, has definitely not stopped. And, you know, it has made a big, giant circle. You know, 210, the Pasadena area, worked its way through the valley, out into the west areas.
Now this pursuit has been going on for about 15, 20 minutes since the police started this chase. It's been going on for at least 25 to 30 to 35, 40 minutes now since the police started this chase. I think it's been going on for about 20 to 25 minutes. No, I think this has been going on. No, this has been going on for about 15, 20 minutes since the police started this chase. Was on the 23 freeway, tried to injure somebody on the SUV earlier on. The female driver was wanted for domestic violence, having some mental health crisis issues, trying to injure family members, all those relatives earlier on in that neighborhood, getting into that right lane, then trying to enter somebody, driving very erratically. You know what happens when so many TV news helicopters are low on fuel. Sometimes they're high on fuel. They have so many fuels to fly overhead, especially when there's a mountain. They do not have the night vision. The police air unit does. I think that what's their status and what's the ETA of that that's been going on. Wanted for domestic violence, as I said, and as they said. What we could tell you, they're established in the West Valley for privileges. And because of that, they're going to have to drop down because of the airspace out. We have to follow rules. Exactly what happened here. Now here comes that thick layers of clouds, of fog. They're going to have to go away. They're going to have to get out of here. They're going to continue to follow the situation. They're going to continue to follow this situation here in that pursuit. They're going to continue to follow the situation. They're going to continue to follow the situation into that pursuit after they get more fuel, and they're gonna head back up now. And they were refueling in Van Nuys earlier, and they're back on the air. This was the eastbound 118 freeway. You see the helicopters camera from the news helicopters. They've been on it this whole entire time. This pursuit went on for about 25 to 30 minutes. This pursuit went on for about 25 to 30 minutes since the police started this chase. Now they're back on it now. They're going to catch up to this. They crossed underneath the 405 freeway and now staying on the 118 freeway. This pursuit went into the Granada Hills area. Now it does dead end into the 210 freeway. And this is the eastbound 118 freeway that they're going to continue 100 miles per hour. Now for anything, that's a website. Now you can go on to that for the police pursuit. Earlier on in Pasadena, officers say he was wanted for domestic violence. 100 plus miles in La Crescenta, 100 miles. And into the 101 freeway. Continued on many times at 90 miles an hour. Earlier on, going into those construction barriers. The headlights and taillights were not blacked out. He has it on this whole entire time whatsoever. And this continues on. Now as I continue for the last video, when I'm going to need to establish that about the armed robbery suspect. I'm looking here, guys. I'm looking. Car chase, car chase, car chase. Come on, come on. There it is. Armed robbery suspect. Sorry about it, guys. This is the last video of the day.
Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable.
I wanna fast forward a bit.
Viewer discretion advised. Unpredictable.
Now the tire of that debris continues on the northbound 710 freeway. We believe that is an armed robbery happened earlier in that night. 3 years ago, December of 2022, then speeding at 80 miles an hour on the northbound 710 freeway, 90 miles an hour overhead. The helicopter had been overhead of the LAPD that was overhead. It began with a traffic stop that tries to pull that car over. So northbound on the 710 freeway, these suspects having weapons and considering armed and dangerous. Now they believe to have weapons. 94 miles an hour. That they're going to continue. They're going to let this go. Let this one continue. Of that CHP, they're going to be in pursuit. The ground units are not going to back off. They're not going to discontinue the chase. They must be aware of this. Of those commuters, stay where you are in your lane. Don't try to be involved in this pursuit, because any instance it could happen. It makes it difficult for those police units to keep up. But let the police units chase that armed robbery suspect, and that's the Nissan Sentra 2007-2012 compact car of the year. I know they're actively in pursuit of that Nissan Sentra 2007 car of the year. This was moments ago, coming northbound 710 freeway as they are on right now, Southgate, East LA. They're gonna be somewhere on the south. They found a vehicle somewhere on the southbound of the 105 freeway. And I'm hearing that they're hearing it that started in El Monte about 5 or 15 minutes ago. That started in the El Monte area. They picked up the chase in El Monte area about 5, 10, or 15 minutes ago. This pursuit started where they found a vehicle in the southbound 105 freeway. All they have is a weapon. The number of people inside this vehicle wanted for armed robbery. Of course, that brings an element to this danger as this pursuit, the way the reflection looks. Now transitioning onto the southbound 5 freeway from the southbound 710 freeway that they're going to continue. Okay, northbound 5 freeway, Southgate, East LA. Okay, they're going to continue passing those cars. They're going to get few details as they transition. And they have this armed robbery was reported out of the El Monte area. Robbing a store. Did they rob and steal money? They're gonna find preliminary details of what led up to this. Okay, we're gonna let you live. This is a very stressful for those officers. Very likelihood that there is a gun involved in that pursuit. They want to stop putting those public in danger. They want to keep the public safe. And they're very concerned about that. Their main concern is to keep the public safe, that those motoring commuters, that they have to make sure that those commuters, that they do not get involved. The police will handle this. They're letting them do their job. The news helicopters overhead. We're down to three back-to-back chases. They're chasing that suspect for for a while now. We're going to let you listen for a few moments, and for a while now, for a long, long time.
Jeff, this turns into a dangerous situation because of the fact that we know that at least one person, or possibly all the people inside this car, we don't know how many occupants are inside this car right now, but they could all be armed, as you were talking about.
Yeah, and that's going to require a number of police officers, several cruisers to stop this pursuit, obviously, because if there's multiple people inside, we've seen this time and time again, they may stop and let some people out. You don't know how many people there have weapons. This is going to be something that requires, it seems to be kind of threading the needle here between this northbound 5 and now to an off-ramp, US 101 northbound, it looks like, is what he's getting onto now. Where are we, Des?
Yeah, we just came out of the Eastdale interchange right there where the 101, the 5, and the 10 all meet. They decided it looked like he was going to go on the northbound 5, then went to the northbound 101. And we just learned a few more details as well. Apparently, sheriff's deputies were trying to pull this vehicle over for reckless driving. After they got the license plate number, that's when they found out that there was a felony armed robbery attached to the plate of this vehicle. So that's what actually spurred all this. If this person was just driving, pretty crazy, sheriffs didn't like that. They tried to pull him over, then learned about the robbery after the fact. So knowing that now, I mean, we might say that there's a 50-50 chance that there's a gun in the car. Obviously, still too high probability for deputies to take any big risks on.
Yeah, that's true. If you're just joining us here on KCAL 9 News at 8, this is breaking news. The LA County Sheriff's Department pursuing the driver of this car, which we believe inside is an armed robbery suspect. Now, that armed robbery, we do believe that it took place before today, obviously, because there was a warrant out for this person, a felony warrant out. And that, as Desmond was just talking about, was just learned when the Sheriff's Department ran the plate after wanting to pull them over for reckless driving. So certainly many different factors in play here. This is all starting in El Monte. We believe this is all started with the reckless driver. And, when we're talking about just a reckless driver, you think, again, pull over, but this person knew, hey, I have something else out on my record, so obviously they're going to take off.
Got a lot of things going on here.
Sure, exactly.
Now, this is definitely an exit. There's one cruiser behind him. So pick it up here, Des, going pretty fast onto, I guess this is another highway. What is this here?
Yeah, this is the eastbound 10. There's that one-lane ramp from the north 101 to the east 10. So the 10 San Bernardino freeway, so that's where we are right now. It was looking like they were going to head towards downtown, and then, I was wondering if they were going to try to ditch the vehicle in a parking structure or a tunnel. But now they're going east 10, so now we're headed to El Monte. That's where that armed robbery was first reported. So we'll see if that comes into play if we do make it to El Monte. But we're still on the freeway now, eastbound 10. So as far as we know, we've been on the freeway now the entire time. They got the spotlight overhead really quickly, which is great for sheriffs. And now we're hearing that at some point, I haven't seen this yet, but that the suspect may have been tossing papers out the window. So who knows what that is? Why? If there's some criminalizing papers or something that this person has, who knows? But they obviously know that they're going to jail when this ends, and so they don't show any signs of giving this one up.
Yeah, and so many different charges that they're racking up here, Susie. They may be in jail for a long time. Armed robbery suspect. We also understand a felony warrant attached to that plate of that vehicle. And we also mentioned reckless driving earlier, which may have alerted police to this. This all started in El Monte. The Sheriff's Department is behind this suspected driver, and the LAPD chopper is overhead.
And as you can see, the ground units there on the ground following pretty closely. But at one point, this was actually in surveillance mode, where the chopper Arrow stays above the LA County Sheriff's Department helicopter is called Arrow, and Arrow will actually stay above and stay higher at a higher level, and the ground units will just sort of back off a little bit, putting less pressure on the person. But right now, they're following pretty closely behind them, aren't they, Desmond?
Yeah, they have been, even though they said that they were in surveillance mode, or what LAPD calls tracking mode, but surveillance mode with the sheriffs. Now, they are apparently trying to get CHP into place with this one, and we know that when it comes to CHP, they're either pursuing or they're not. So we'll see what happens if they're able to come into play on this one. Eastbound 10 coming up on the 710. So let's see, looking like we're going to keep with the eastbound 10 and not circle back to the southbound 710 unless they make a last-second move, but no, they're continuing. So now we are making our way into the San Gabriel Valley, into Alhambra, San Gabriel, Temple City, these areas here. And I believe, trying to get the make and model, I believe this is a Nissan, maybe a Nissan Altima or a Nissan Maxima.
Yeah, that was going to be my guess, that it was a Nissan. Des, good guess on that. As that is the vehicle in the center part of your screen, actually just going just below posted speeds on the highway now of eastbound 10. This is somebody wanted for armed robbery in El Monte. Sheriff's Department is behind this vehicle. We understand multiple people inside. This vehicle was also, they ran the plate, and they found out there was a felony warrant attached to that plate. And also at one point in time, Susie, they witnessed some reckless driving. which we haven't really seen here since we've gone on live with this. The driving has been maybe above the posted speed limits, but nothing really more, advanced or deliberate than that.
Sure, absolutely. And, we talk about these pursuits. The LA County Sheriff's Department, their protocol is to have 4 units and then a supervising sergeant behind them. So we've been watching, obviously, Desmond talk about how the LA County Sheriff's Department has stayed pretty closely behind this car, despite the fact that they went into surveillance mode for a little bit even. And as we can see there, the helicopter definitely following this one closely as well.
This one's weaving in and out of traffic, no headlights whatsoever. Thankfully, everybody's going in the same direction as this is on the highway, not crossing through intersections and whatnot. But we always get pretty curious about that. We see the drivers in these police pursuits that turn on and off the light like they're going to somehow disappear from law enforcement or something. But we see this over and over and over again. You can see the night sun from LAPD helicopter overhead as he's putting on his brakes. Almost wanted to look like there, Des, that he was going to take that exit, but kind of hard to do from the almost left-hand lanes.
Going 90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. A very common tactic from these suspects, kind of doing that last-second dodge, like they're going to get off the freeway. Obviously, authorities totally privy to that. Now, you may have just seen CHP come into the shot briefly. They were just there at the on-ramp, I believe, at Atlantic there, so they should be getting into place on this one. And then we'll see, here they are right now. So here comes CHP into this, and they are right behind the suspect.
Get out of here. Okay.
And so our sheriff's deputies. So their helicopter will stay overhead for this. We'll see if the deputies on the ground back off. They're definitely going to trail back at least a little bit. And now it looks like CHP is on the lead with this armed robbery suspect.
Well, if you're just joining us here on KCAL 9 News Today, we're coming up here on the 9 o'clock hour. We've been watching this pursuit for about 20 minutes now. The LA County Sheriff's Department in pursuit of an armed robbery suspect, and found out after the fact that they actually were trying to pull over a reckless driver. They found that out when they ran the plates, and they realized, hey, we have something else here as well. So it's unclear if this person is armed. That's definitely one of the considerations they will have when they pull this over. When they pull this person over, looks like they're exiting the freeway possibly here, Desmond?
Let's see, there's a collector lane.
God, they've been following that car. They've been following this pursuit for about... This pursuit has been going on. This has been ongoing. They've been chasing that armed robbery suspects for about... This pursuit has been going on. We've been watching doing this live streaming for the better part of an. We've been doing the live streaming for the better part of an. We've been doing the live streaming for the. We've been doing this live. We've been doing the live streaming for the better part of an hour now. Since we started doing the live streaming, we've been doing that for the better part of about 2 hours or so. This pursuit. They've been following overhead. This pursuit has been going on. They've been following that car overhead and on the ground. This pursuit has been ongoing. They've been chasing that car for about 20 minutes. They've been chasing that car for about 20 minutes they've been chasing that car for about 20 minutes. Now, I'm gonna say it again. They've been chasing that car for about 20 minutes since the police started this chase. This pursuit went all the way from the 710 freeway, northbound 5 freeway, and to that 10 freeway, gets off the freeway onto Rockhold Avenue in San Gabriel Valley Southwest area, now going around traffic, now those CHP units right behind them, now going the wrong side of the road, now once again, now turning left, and Walnut Grove Avenue, and I can tell you right now, this pursuit, they're gonna see if they're gonna get right back on the freeway. CHP in pursuit now. They've been following this pursuit for about 20 to 25 minutes. The driver eventually continues on going underneath the freeway whatsoever. Now, gonna stay on. Now he's gonna make a use. Wow, getting onto that freeway right there. 3 units behind them, getting back on the westbound 10 freeway next to that houses. Sorry, I've been riding on my shirt and committing back to the westbound 10 freeway. Came right into Alhambra area, going towards Walnut Grove, heading towards downtown LA, heading back towards downtown LA. It's a pretty aimless El Monte connection that they were thinking about traffic. Maybe it was connected to traffic stop, armed robbery. And now, if you're just joining us on my live streaming, if you're joining me on my live streaming, tuning in, please tune in. Thank you for watching. Comment down below. Drop in all of your chats. We're not going to finish the live streaming yet. They believe it's an armed robbery suspect going on right now. It brings them up to date that they do have it here on the eye. And it started somewhere in the southbound 105 freeway. It started with the El Monte County Sheriff's deputies southbound on the 105 freeway. Deputies of the units tried to pull them over. That began on the southbound 105 freeway. They ran the plate, took off in the other direction, speeding at 95 miles an hour. Armed robbery out of the El Monte area. It's been unclear. They happened to have a handgun, and it was connected to a robbery and a traffic stop. High concern about the firearm. If the suspect starts firing at the CHP officers, they're going to have to shoot out the tires and get payback. This is serious. They don't want to do that. They do not want to do that. They want to take it very personally and cautiously and seriously. The suspect westbound, 10 freeway, headed towards downtown LA, and it's going to be a quiet down in downtown LA that they're going to continue. Actually, on the westbound 10 freeway, they started at 9 o'clock p.m. hour. It's been ongoing since about 8 o'clock p.m. This pursuit went on for about, they've been following this vehicle down. It's been on the westbound 10 freeway. The pursuit has been going on. They've been chasing that vehicle for about the past 15-20 minutes or so since the police started this chase. Now getting off the freeway once again. They've done that twice now, getting back on the freeway 2 times now. What is he thinking now, getting back on the westbound 10 freeway? He's playing dumb and playing cat and mouse. Excuse my language, I'm sorry for that, please forgive me. Playing cat and mouse, ridiculous game. Now there's an LAPD unit. They have a strong suspicion of that. What led up to this? Are there any objects inside that car? And all of that, they have a strong suspicion of that car. Of this person not having a gun, then a pit maneuver, then firing shots at an officer, thank goodness. And if they're going to have an opportunity for spike strips. And now when they believe that is a suspect that's armed, it changes the whole equation for those officers. No doubt whatsoever. It's very interesting. The case may be that the fact LASD that is originally after this guy for reckless driving, until they ran the plates, that car was wanted for armed robbery. The suspect is the driver. So this began. This person was just driving around, felony attached to their license plate. And I get the fact that they're on the run from the police, evading authorities. Then they were out there driving pretty rudely, apparently, getting attention to deputies for instances when they pull someone over, when they do a spike strip, when this pursuit race towards the border or race towards the downtown LA area or the restricted airspace, TFR, all of that. But they don't want to do that. It's just a simple traffic violation. Things are going normal for the news helicopters and the police helicopters. They're not pulling over, and now why they're evading police? Why? Is because this person is wanted for armed robbery. It's like a 5-star wanted level in real life in GTA, because thank goodness nobody's involved. You have to look in your rear view mirrors. Thank goodness the car was staying in the right lane, not involved. That's why you don't try to change lanes. That's why they don't try to change lanes to be part of this pursuit. They need to stay in their own lanes and not try to be a hero. They don't have the answer. The answer is the warrant doesn't mean they can pick up right away. They're not even sure what led up to this. We know it's alleged armed robbery. Still on the San Bernardino. There's a police unit underneath the freeway. It's still on the San Bernardino freeway, westbound 10 freeway, Boyle Heights. Then there's a friction since they've transitioned from the northbound 710 freeway, 5 freeway as an outstanding arrest warrant. Now this vehicle continues on to the westbound 10 freeway. What I could say, where he could head towards another freeway in Lincoln Heights in LA, exit LA, the hill head towards downtown. They first heard about it on the northbound 710 freeway, south of the 105 freeway. This person was maybe coming out of that area, Long Beach area. It's unclear that the armed robbery happened in the El Monte area. What we have noticed, the CHP helicopter came in to get on this. As the pursuit continues on, they'll most likely they relieve sheriff's deputies helicopter. Once they're going to see the CHP's fixed wing, recently more than ever, the sheriffs for a while, they're going to have fresh tank of gas, fresh set of eyes on that suspect. 5 freeway is back onto that northbound that he is right now in Lincoln Heights. 50, 60 miles an hour, going past traffic. And I know the 5 and the 110 freeway, and I know the big line of cars trying to get into. They saw a big line of cars getting into that Dodger Stadium, and they're definitely seeing what the flow on any road works to slow down this suspect. That they're slowing down. Number of innocent people out there, innocent lives are hurt. But thank goodness no innocent lives are endangered. Nobody's hurt. Nobody's been endangered. Nobody has been dangerous. That the suspect has been dangerous. Been driving normal at 60, 70 miles an hour, not driving very erratically. And then they would stop this pursuit. I think they were going to have the technique. Now this pursuit continues on 80 miles an hour underneath the surface streets, crossing over under the 710 freeway, with parked cars being parked like we did the assault. We did a video of that assault suspect that was driving that Ford truck, white truck, F-250, F-150, assaulted the LAPD officers, back up into them. It was assault with a deadly weapon. They were trying to get more revenge on those cars, and what I could tell you, it was due to that LAX's airspace. They caught up to them, got out of the LAX's airspace. They did a pit maneuver. The suspect was being taken into custody. I know it happened 2 days ago with the alleged assault suspect with DUI, drunk driving, with that white Chevy Silverado pickup truck. That happened on Thursday, 2 days ago. And then they have to tackle that suspect on the ground. They've tackled that suspect on the ground, and then 90 miles an hour, high speeds, slowed it down. Got agitated, ripped off his shirt. Thursday afternoon, but yesterday there was no high-speed chase live streaming being uploaded from somebody's YouTube channel. Thank goodness. They're passing by Dodger Stadium. We haven't seen police chase live streaming news stations YouTube channel all week, but I'm doing this as a skit for them, not for them. I'm doing this for the car chase video to record all of these videos. I know for a fact that this pursuit continues on, passing by the Dodger Stadium, northbound 5 freeway. We're gonna continue, but let's concentrate on our police chase video. If he gets back right there in the freeway, northbound in Silver Lake, they don't know asking sometimes. Sometimes when they're asking when they've been following this pursuit, how long can they go far? They go when they wouldn't see the guy have a full tank, I could say, a full tank of gas, 80 miles an hour. Oh, that's a nice BMW. That's a nice BMW. I've done that on my second YouTube channel. That was 1995, 1997 5 Series, E34, E39. We're going to take a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. They're assembled in South Carolina. Alright. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. $569 a month for 39 months. The other day, on Thursday night, 2 nights ago, we did a pursuit of that BMW X3 suspect that was wanted for car-to-car assault with a deadly weapon. Then slips past 8 cop cars, went to the freeways, downtown LA. Then it came to an end. The pursuit continues on. Now it's a 4-cylinder engine. Gas sipper going up at 80, 85 miles an hour. You know, it's up to 80 miles an hour. Going to a casino consume for a little bit of fuel when you're getting down at 50, 60 miles an hour. When somebody is 60 miles an hour, if they were to cruise along, they could go ahead. Speeding up 80, 90 miles an hour. Wow. They think about that they've come possibly from the Long Beach, that they were on this since it's been going on for about 25 minutes. This has been going on for about this pursuit has been going on for about 25 minutes. Now, since the police started this chase, now it's been going on for about 25 to 30 minutes since they've started this chase. Continue on the northbound 5 freeway in Glendale. It's been going on for a good... Sorry. Now it's been going on for a good 30 minutes. This pursuit has been going on for a good 30 minutes. Now they're handing it off to CHP like they did. CHP taking over this pursuit. The sheriff's deputies, they did swap out. And what I could tell, the commuter staying in the right lane, the suspect is in the left lane, using a turn blinker, going past other traffic now. Wow. Hopefully no traffic in front of the suspect. There is a little bit. Probably slowing down, trying to get that traffic to stay in their lanes, making sure that those commuters does not get involved in that pursuit. And they are keeping a really good eyes. The aircraft, the CHP fixed-wing aircraft overhead, the police Night Sun overhead. They wouldn't want to launch a fixed-wing aircraft. They would have to. The news chopper, the TV news helicopters the TV news helicopters doing a great job calling it all, following overhead. The police air units been doing a great job keeping the Night Sun following overhead. Same thing. When they're launching a news helicopter and a police helicopter, they're teaming up to join in, jumping overhead every now and then, once a month or so, when there's a police chase notification from the news station's YouTube channel. I know that I saw so many notifications. That's the fixed wing that's up there right now, and that's a station that is believed to be 3 units. That's a carjacking. They met them at one time at Burbank Airport, one of the news helicopters. Pretty sure their helicopter does good as well. They're very good at it. They have the pursuit. They have to be at a higher altitude and turn on a dime. They can in the helicopters have seen a CHP fixed wing before. That makes them think for the last couple of months. For the last 3 years or so, very lengthy, for a long time, for several years, for the last 3-4 years or so. And then they heard them. And since they have their map tracker overhead from the news helicopter. And if they get past that 134 freeway, they're going to continue on the northbound 5 freeway. Sticking with the northbound 5 freeway, Grand Central. Thank you.
Seeing here in Southern California, they've all been monitored from the air by fixed wing up until the return of these choppers, huh?
Well, for CHP, yeah. A lot of times they may have assistance from one of the other agencies. Like, it's not uncommon to see a sheriff's deputy helicopter as well as CHP's fixed-wing aircraft. We've seen that several times. So, if they're able to, if the other agencies will oblige, they would like to have a helicopter as well as the fixed wing, if that's possible. But they got their helicopter back, so here we are.
Like you said, go ahead, Pat.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say it's so much more convenient. Like you were saying, Desmond, a fixed wing is in constant motion, has to fly higher. In a helicopter like where you are, we can follow a pursuit at this proximity, and also we can hover if we need to when it becomes a standoff and whatnot, right?
Yeah, definitely. And in fact, there's some areas where that plane wouldn't even be able to go, like in the LAX's airspace along the 110. That would be a major disadvantage for the fixed-wing aircraft or the shoreline transition, which goes down around Dockweiler Beach. But so kind of interesting. It's while we're kind of in the lull of this pursuit, we talk about kind of the compare and contrast, the differences with the fixed-wing versus the chopper.
Bye.
So for many years in a fixed
Advertisement.
wing, doing traffic, and no doubt about it. I mean, when it comes to stories like this, the chopper definitely the way to go.
Yeah, it certainly can maneuver better. I was just so surprised when you first mentioned that a couple of weeks ago that they even used
Wow,
fixed-wing
gathering in
aircraft.
Los Angeles.
You had mentioned,
Okay, go away.
Desmond, that they were
Top.
trying to stop traffic ahead of this, just to slow it down a bit or slow down people. Do you still see that going on up ahead of this? And the reason I asked the question, too, because for a moment there, it looked like he had gotten to some traffic because he had put on the brakes for a couple of times. He got behind some drivers there. So just wondering, well, looks pretty free and clear.
And he turned his lights back on, too.
Yeah, I was actually seeing the traffic behind that one of the other units looked like they were doing kind of the round robins to hold back traffic as this person went by. I'm still not seeing any of the on-ramps being held at this point. So, here, look at you. You got your lights off, but then you're using your blinker. It's just so illogical. It's just always so strange to see what these suspects do. I mean, they're obviously
this is not the
thinking
world
straight
I
if
want
they're,
for
if
them.
they're doing what they're doing here, just running from
And
the
I
police.
will
But
change it.
always so strange to see this. But all over
In
the
my
freeway,
lifetime, I will
not
change it.
incredibly dangerous driving. We haven't
Power
seen
to the
them,
people.
blasting
This song
between
is
two
called
vehicles
Miss
or driving on
America.
the shoulder or the wrong way on the roadway or anything like that. But lights off. Getting up to 80. We've been up to 90 miles an hour at a few junctures as well. Here comes another CHP unit right here. Let's see if they're going to get involved in this one. They're getting up into a different area now, so CHP will often hand off. They have different districts, just the same way that LAPD does, the same way that sheriff's deputies do. So it's not likely that we're going to see the same cruiser being the lead on this pursuit the entire time because we've covered so much ground.
That's right. These times they do want to pair, crash act on this, even though we've seen pursuits go much longer than this, but they still, as you said, Desmond, sometimes they want to change up and get another law enforcement involved, just in terms of refreshing, if you will.
Yes, and Pat, just got told by my assignment desk all that talk about the CHP fixed wing. Well, apparently they're going to be in on this as well.
Wow.
CHP is going to have 2 aircraft on this one, and now that we're clearing Burbank, that's going to be good news for them. Well, here we go on the right-hand shoulder now, coming up to Glen Oaks. See if they continue with the freeway, driving on the shoulder.
All right, we have temporarily lost our picture there with Desmond,
Yep.
but we're anxious to see if this driver is going to stick on the freeway on the I-5. Desmond, are you back?
Yeah, we got you back, I think.
Okay, there he is.
Yes, okay. There we go. Yeah, we are getting off of the freeway here now at Glen Oaks. And let's see which way they decide to go as we're off the freeway here. Looks like they're going to be headed westbound there over the 5. And look, just right back onto the freeway. So this is really just aimless at this point. I mean, I just don't understand what the plan is here by this suspect as they get ready to go right underneath us here. Let me just pull out a second, and we will reestablish this shot for you as we are. So we were north 710, east 10, west 10, north 5. And now we are going south 5, just pretty aimlessly here.
Yeah, that actually, Des, I kind of like that shot when you're giving us really a bird's eye view. It really does, because it shows a longer picture of where law enforcement and traffic is behind this vehicle. But again, here we are. It's anybody's guess as to what this driver is going to do. We try to get some information to find out possibly if it started in a certain area, if that's where this person lives or knows the area, and they'll turn around and try to end it where they started it. But just don't know right now because he's made a number of different moves. As Desmond said, he's traveled on a number of different freeways. For our viewers out there, we've been watching this now for at least a half hour,
That's right.
if not a little before. And Desmond said this is like a Nissan Sentra, a 4-cylinder vehicle, so certainly not a lot of power. And, if he's driving at these speeds that he is now, that's using a lot of gas.
That's right. And the only time this driver's gotten off the freeway is to get right back on the freeway. So it's just going loop to loop along different freeways, northbound, southbound, eastbound, and westbound. And if you're just joining us here, this is the pursuit of an armed robbery suspect. Apparently, this car was wanted for an armed robbery, as we mentioned earlier. Not sure exactly when that crime happened, but police definitely associated the license plate on this car with that crime. This car earlier tonight was apparently doing some sort of reckless driving on the freeway. They ran the plate, and that's when they realized that this car was wanted in an armed robbery, and this pursuit began. As Pat was saying, we've been on this for about half an hour or so, just watching this driver going at and above the speed limit for the most part. Very light traffic on the freeways tonight with the CHP now in pursuit on the ground and in the air. And Pat, as Desmond was saying, we've got the fixed wing coming back as well as the helicopter. So a lot of manpower is being dedicated to getting this driver to stop. And as you see here now, Desmond getting close to the Burbank town center there where the Costco is and the Walmart in that shopping district there. He's going to zoom right past that.
Yeah, I believe we actually passed that. Now we're getting ready to go by. We're near kind of the downtown district of Burbank off of San Fernando Road, and we're going to go by the largest IKEA in the country, if memory serves, that new one that they built off of Western. We're going to be passing by that pretty soon. And so our Trebit and Simon Desk trying to get some more information about this armed robbery, and it sounds like the watch commander at El Monte was unaware of this at the time, so which leads us to believe that this was something that got filed some time ago. It didn't happen today. Definitely somewhere in the recent past, this armed robbery with a handgun, by the way. And I believe we had heard that 2 people were involved with that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we had, 2 suspects in that crime is what we're hearing, but it's unclear if there's 2 people in the car right now or if it's just the suspect. And, of course, we've got the typical pursuit tint here with the ultra dark, tinted windows, so it's going to be hard to get a peek inside. Haven't seen the lights on at any point. Oh, a little maneuver there, cutting that big rig off with the lights off.
Yeah, that was
close. And now we're coming back to the 5.
And
come back to the 134, I should say.
So we're on the 134 now?
Yeah,
well, we're at the 134 junction.
Okay. And we'll see what
let's see if this is going to be another one of those last-second moves.
Yeah, like one of those gotcha.
Wow.
Like he's playing tag.
Yeah.
Like tag, you're in, right?
Looks like he's staying on the 5 there, Pat, if he's going towards the left. Yep.
Yeah, officially sticking with the 5 now.
All right, well.
And it's possible that, Matt, that CHP is going to try to get some spike strips involved in this. It sounds like they're definitely losing patience. I mean, they have committed a lot of resources now to this, with the cruisers on the ground and 2 aircraft in the air. So there is some talk about that. We'll just see the way this person is driving. It's going to be very difficult. I mean, CHP, frankly, is going to have to get lucky for that to work out, because this person isn't staying in any one particular lane. And so we'll see if that works. We may see that here in the not too distant future.
And we think, they wouldn't possibly do this on the freeway, but we have seen them use pit maneuvers before. And if I'm not mistaken, Des, they've even done it at, certainly not at this rate of speed, but we've seen it, no, I'm thinking about a pit maneuver there, but we have seen them throw spike strips on the freeway. And there he is making another one of those catch me if you can moves, going to the right, and then he's going to veer back into traffic. But, I guess that they could figure out sort of a pattern, Desmond, and maybe anticipate which side of the freeway that he's going to be on, where they can actually get in place to put a spike strip down.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to be, if they're going to do it, they do it from either, the far right, the right-hand shoulder, or sometimes in the center divider as well. There's definitely a degree of danger doing that, and they have to be communicating perfectly with the units that are on the ground as well as the aircraft. I think it's actually the aircraft that will give the officer on the ground, it'll let you know, okay, this is the next vehicle, this is who you want, he's in the right lane, throw out the spike strip, something like that. But it takes a lot of coordination to do this. Of course, obviously they undergo a lot of training for instances like this, So they're definitely experienced with it. And you're right, Pat. We have seen pit maneuvers on. You know what? I think that was them right there.
Oh,
it might have been them right there on the ground. Yeah, that was at Glendale Boulevard. So we had heard that they were at Glendale. I don't think that worked out. We'll listen in and see if they say positive spike, but I think he was just too far away from the right-hand lane for police to hit his tires. But now he's got to know, CHP really means business on this.
Yeah, did you see the spike strip at all there, Desmond? Because it's kind of dark there. We couldn't tell.
Yeah, it is pretty dark. I didn't see the spike strip itself, but we had heard that they were at Glendale Boulevard. Didn't quite want to reveal that on the air, and it just went by so quickly there. But yeah, awfully dark out here on this section of the 5. Kind of surprising. You'd think that there would be more lights on the roadway, but not the case here on the 5 as we make our way back down towards Legion Park.
yeah, especially not right now. Oh, there we are. We finally passed the vehicle, but it seemed for a moment there that he was just out there by himself. In terms of traffic, anyway. But we know CHP is still right behind him. But from this particular vantage point here, we don't see a lot of traffic. Not at all. Which would bode well, actually, for law enforcement.
it is
Right?
really
They want to try that again. They want to try another spike strip. Yeah, look at this. Not a lot of traffic at all.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, it is quiet. It is pretty quiet on the southbound side of the 5 at this time of the evening. It is official that spike strip was no good. We heard them say that. So we'll see if they're going to coordinate another one here, depending on which way the suspect wants to go. Let's see if they're going to go back eastbound on the 10. This will be the second go-around if they decide to do that. We'll be coming up on the 10 San Bernardino Freeway and then the Eastdale Interchange, which would either be a continuation of the 5, the eastbound 60, or the westbound 10 Santa Monica Freeway.
Speed
Actually, I'm sorry, we have the 110 first. We're going to pass that first.
Say again, Des?
We're going to pass the 110 freeway first.
Yeah, we're getting ready to pass the 110 right now, and then all those other options I just mentioned.
I see. Well, the speed obviously a factor, right, in this pursuit, whether they're going to be using a pit maneuver or those spike strips. When somebody's going so quickly, it really is hard to determine what to use and how to use it. But as you were saying, Desmond, it's clear that they've already tried using the spike strip once, that they do mean business in getting this pursuit, or at least this driver to know, hey, you better pull over because we're going to stop you no matter what.
Yeah, you would hope that it would get through to the suspect. And there's times where it does. Sometimes you have a suspect, they'll hit that spike the one time, and then they're like, all right, that's enough, and then they get out. And then so many other times they'll take multiple spikes, and they keep going, the rubber falls off, there's sparks everywhere from the wheels on the asphalt or on the concrete, and they continue to go. Just never know how any one pursuit is going to end. But this one just reeks of trying to run the clock out, so to speak, just to see how long
run
they
the
can.
clock out, so to speak. This pursuit has been going on for the better. This pursuit has been going on for the. This pursuit has been going on for the better part of an hour. Been going on for about 35. This pursuit has been going on for the better part of an hour, for about 35, 40 minutes since the police started this chase. Going on for the better part of an hour. About half an hour ago, they pick up the pursuit on the southbound 105 freeway. This pursuit continues on southbound 5 freeway in Lincoln Heights. Got off, made a U-turn, got back on the southbound 5 freeway, made a U-turn, continued on at high speeds, and with reaching speeds at 90, 95 miles an hour, earlier on 86, 87 miles an hour, earlier on moments ago, continued at 70, 75 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, and I can tell you that 2 people in that crime were involved. Both of the suspects were involved, believed to have a gun and weapons inside that 2007 Nissan Sentra sedan mid-size compact car, driving fast on the northbound 5 freeway, and they're not driving fast. They're going to continue on. There was no spike strips. The spike strips was no good. They're going to set up again. They're going to deploy it once again. Once again, they're going to deploy those spike strips, and it's going to continue on, getting on to the eastbound, getting on to the eastbound 10 freeway, Royal Heights, and we can tell you if the suspect continued on as well. This has been going on for several hours now. They want to go a little taller. They were on the freeway. They were back on the 5 freeway that they were about 30 minutes. They were back on the southbound freeway and eastbound freeway, 5 freeway, 5 to 10 freeway, just about 30 minutes ago. They were on the freeway. They picked up the speeds and they transitioned onto the freeway. They've changed lanes just about 20 or 30 minutes ago. Where they were about 20 minutes ago, then continues on at 70 miles an hour. The person wants to do anything so erratic at 80 miles an hour. The spike strips was no good. The it has not been successful. It's unsuccessful. It was not complete. Now continuing on the eastbound 10 freeway, he's going to be coming up onto the freeway very shortly, doing circles and circles for the better part of the last half hour. It's been going on for the last they've been hovering above, doing the circles for the last 10 or 20 minutes or so. Since they've been hovering around, they've been doing circles and circles, driving slow and then picking up speeds. They've been driving normal for the last 10 or 20 minutes or so. Since they've started this hour-long chase whatsoever, could be some reason, the front wheel or back wheel, both 4 tires seems to be okay. They're trying to keep an eye out for it. The police helicopter and the news helicopters overhead doing a great job. The CHP units doing a great job of hard work. We see there's some smoke starting to come up. I think the spike strips was successful. Now, they're going to have to see if there's any friction, if there's spike strip on, hitting the brakes now, getting off the freeway. Oh my God, very frustratingly. And it's been very frustrating. I could tell you that they're headed over towards the southbound 710 freeway. Earlier on, they were reaching speeds at 95 miles, and they were reaching speeds at 95 miles an hour on the freeway. And then now heading towards Southwest San Gabriel Valley, eastbound 10 freeway. They're gonna get off the freeway here at Ramona. They're gonna come up to that off ramp. Oh my God, they're gonna continue on. They're gonna continue on. Okay, they're gonna continue on. City of Terrence and staying off the freeway as they try to oppose to blow a tire. That doesn't even make any sense. That does make sense that they've seen dings go into the southbound 710 freeway. It's been all over. Sometimes these drivers, they're on the freeway in the middle of the night. That seems to be the traffic seems to be light. They haven't taken an exit ramp off of Ramona exit. They're still going to continue at 65 miles an hour whatsoever, where they first picked it up, 105 freeway, off of that 710 freeway, and so now, so on and so forth. They're starting to trend back. They've got the sheriff's deputy's attention. They could revisit something that they've heard before. They've been doing it for the last 10 or 12 years now. They've been doing this for the last 13, 14, 15 years as a news helicopter reporter, along with the pilot and the news helicopter, TV news helicopter. They've been working there for several years now. They've been working there for several years now. They haven't seen anything like this. And then they got into this pursuit half an hour ago, several hours ago. We've been doing this live streaming for about 2 hours now. And they saw something, crazy coincidence. A flicker going on, headlights and taillights blacked out, and they're committing even more resources. They're talking about more and more supervisors in the pursuit whatsoever. They're having canines ending of this pursuit. They've got canines, they've got spike strips, 70 to 80 miles an hour, 85 miles an hour, almost. Now there you go, 92 miles an hour, 93 miles an hour. Speeding back up now. They're going to stop at some point. They don't plan to stop anytime soon. They're going to stop when they're wanting to. The car had lost a tire. 95 miles an hour. Wow. Oh my God. Sparks are flying. It's an armed robbery. The spike strips was so successful now. Completed. Now the southbound 710 freeway as they continue on heading towards Long Beach. They haven't been able to see that some kind of flickering. And this is the left hand. Oh my God, the left driver's side, front side, flat. Sparks will catch on fire. This person It's been driving very erratically now. Very erratically. This pursuit been going on for about 50 minutes. This pursuit has been going on for about 45, 50 minutes now. Since the police started this chase, they don't want to give up on this yet. They're not going to give up yet. It's the suspects. The CHP not going to call off. This pursuit has been going on for about 50. This pursuit has been going on for about 55 minutes or so since the police started this chase. This has been going on for the past 60 minutes. This has been going on for the past 60 minutes or so since they started this chase. Been going on for the better part of an hour. Been going on for about an hour for the past, it's been going on for the last half hour or so. 65 minutes or so, and then having some issues, and now they don't want to stop on the freeway going past that big rig truck. If they would have lent a helping hand. And now continuing on, sparks coming out even whatsoever. Look at this, speeding up. Oh my God, sparks flying a little bit. Please be careful. That car is actually recklessly across, speeding up now 87 miles an hour. And you know the speed limit has been going on quite some distance, going above speed limits. Now 85 miles an hour, picking up speed now. Wow, I cannot even imagine. This is so ridiculous. This is unacceptable, and this has gone too far. Especially with the way of they're very turning in and out of lanes. They could very easily get out of control, lose control, drain the gas, catch on fire, the car would set on fire. They don't want to do that. The person enduring another factor that they want. And they remember having a 4-cylinder engine in that tank many years ago, since 2007. It was 20 years ago in 2007, the year I was born. I know for a fact that they even see more sparks flying left side of this tire, driver's side, completely flat. Oh my God, sparks is gonna come out. 5 freeway, East LA, Southgate area. Wow, southbound 710 freeway. Then it could engulf in flames, catch fire. This is major. I'm coming. This is very telling and so arresting, aggravating, sickening. All of this crazy pursuit they've covered for so many years. Now they've covered for so many years now. For a few years now, they've been covering experience. That minivan with that surfboard, squeezing by that vehicle, 55 miles an hour. They're gonna get that big rig truck getting out of the way. Nerve-wracking to see what the next person right now, but it has to be a difference in there. The lost tire, nasty grinding noise coming to a screeching in the footwell. More units coming to get involved. I can tell you now where they're driving fast, a little faster just a few minutes ago. The last 3 or 4 minutes ago, for the last 3-4 minutes or so. Yeah, he's been driving at high speeds for the last 3-4 minutes, or he's been driving fast for the last 3 to 4 minutes or so since they started this hour-long chase. It's been going on for the past 2.5 hours or so, and I know he's made it so many familiar. Opposite direction, continuing on, going in the same opposite direction. And now been going on for about 50 minutes now since the police started this chase. Whatsoever going through this person's mind, they could drive as long as they could carry. And I know if they're trying to get off the freeway, and I could tell in my own head as they crossed the 60 freeway, they passed the Dodger Stadium earlier on half an hour ago. They just passed the Dodger Stadium half an hour ago, earlier on, crossed the 60 freeway. This pursuit started earlier on, half an hour ago. Sort of debris coming off now, hit the grind prime. This pursuit has been going on for the past half hour or so. Since the police started this chase, been going on for the past 2.5 hours or so, as I said. CHP has to he likes to have, law enforcement agencies, I like when they catch up to those pursuits. pursuits. I like when they put things to an end, set up a spike strip, getting off the freeway, staying off the freeway. He likes to stay off the freeway. He doesn't like to stay off the freeway. He likes staying on the freeway. Now going to turn left. First time going into the surface street, Southgate East LA area. St. Avenue, James, as well. Hilton Avenue. Wow, the possibility he's gonna continue. He's not gonna keep going much longer now. If it continues, there's no way. All right, we're late. We're gonna let you listen now for the last 10 or 15 minutes.
And they may have actually even just lost another wheel now, according to
lost
the
another
lead
wheel.
unit
Are you
down
kidding
in
me?
here. So one tire is definitely toast. You see that smoke coming out, and it may be another tire that has deflated. And I'm thinking that this person just hit stuff on the right-hand shoulder. There's so much sharp debris that gets piled up on the right-hand shoulder for Caltrans to sweep up, and if they haven't done that in a while, you get a flat tire very easily. Of course, just driving around LA, you can get a flat tire really at any moment. So, unclear what caused all this. CHP's spike strip was not effective earlier, but now on
it was
the
not
Imperial
effective
Highway,
earlier. I thought. I'm sorry.
55 miles an hour with only 2 good tires. Definitely not good news.
And you were telling us, Desmond, parts of this car actually flew into the windshield of the lead CHP unit, and that's the vehicle that we saw pulled to the left, possibly to assess what kind of damage they have and make sure the windshield's not going to come off the car, right?
We suspect.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It may have been some tire tread or something like that got kicked up. Most likely that's what it was. But it was definitely enough for the one CHP officer to decide that they needed to pull off for this.
Wait
up on the sidewalk
now
here
he's
briefly.
getting desperate.
Oh, boy. Okay.
See, this is...
And something else just fell off as well. Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Did it hit that white car?
Almost.
Well, you know what? We talked about this. At first, it seems like they know they're going to be apprehended, and everything goes pretty smooth, and then sometimes it just takes that moment where they just lose it, so to speak,
Desperate
and just start,
measures,
and start driving even more desperate. And so now, you got to know, sir, that they're going to certainly stay on you now, because they really want to apprehend this person.
And they may have this opportunity very shortly if this car keeps coming apart there on the side streets here, on the surface streets that we're seeing right here.
And he went up on the sidewalk. There could have been pedestrians standing there.
Definitely no
crossline.
time to think, yeah.
So now this pursuit has gotten more dangerous. Has certainly picked up in terms of this. Go ahead, Des.
Well,
I heard you
we
say you
just
don't
heard
believe
that
it.
CHP said that they
backing
just said
off?
that they're canceling the pursuit, which obviously this has gotten
This is
very
not
dangerous.
cool.
The person was
They
up on
should
the
not-
sidewalk,
they
but
shouldn't be
this is an
canceling the
armed
pursuit.
robbery suspect that
They
we're
need to
talking
catch up
about.
to this pursuit. This is not funny. This is
I'm
not a
honestly
funny-
shocked to hear
not
CHP
a
say
nice-
that.
Here it
But
goes.
getting out of the car.
Yeah.
Out, and we got, and I'm
Yeah,
thinking
out
that
of
there
the
may
car.
just be the one suspect. So let's hope we can get Norwalk PD. Let's see if we
Is
can
he
get around this building
carjacking
right here.
somebody's car? Did he get in somebody's car?
It looks like he's in front of a motel here. I don't know that they were carjacking anyone. Might have just run up to
Was he those guys?
up to this business right now.
One guy was
randomly
opening his
out-
door.
Just all of a sudden.
Hey, look, he might be in that
I
car.
don't know if this is the suspect in here or not.
I don't
Yeah,
know
I don't
either,
know.
but I saw someone opening the door
Well,
to the driver's side, but this guy
that's
is,
pretty
No, this is
weird.
way too cool.
well, we've seen that before.
Is he right
okay,
there?
Okay.
Nope.
No, the air unit's saying that they have him
there
under
they
the
are.
light. He's up. Yeah. There we go.
There
okay,
he is.
we got the suspect here. Boy, after getting so dangerous, just glad they decided to. Don't know why in that moment decided to get out and run. If they were thinking they were going to run into a business or something, but
Well, look at him. He's being
looks angry.
belligerent.
well,
Pound in his
Oh,
chest.
I'm walking away.
okay. Oh boy.
There's a
Oh
K9.
boy.
Oh, get him,
yeah,
K9.
right
I
now.
dare you
Oh,
to.
boy.
Get him.
Well,
Good boy.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
And still resisting here.
Oh, my.
Still resisting
CHP's
here.
got their taser there as well.
I know.
So,
It's just, wow.
we're gonna have to run back some video. Juan and Pat, I don't know. Could you remember? Was that person wearing a blue hat and a gray sweater. It happened so quickly that they ran under
You know
that.
what?
We may have to play back
I'm going
that
to be
video if you
honest.
guys get a chance.
I thought they had on a darker colored shirt and it was short sleeve. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
Oh boy.
CHP better hope that that's the suspect because.
That's what I said. You know what?
Yeah. Okay.
We're going to replay it.
I don't know that this is the suspect.
Yeah, we're watching the foot bail right now, Desmond. The guy's wearing a black T-shirt and light blue
short
jeans.
sleeve T-shirt.
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Boy.
I mean, okay, and that person was wearing. And that person was wearing a blue hat or something. Okay, now they're thinking that that they might be behind the liquor store or something. Now you see the spotlight being over here. That is some very bad news for CHP right there. They're saying northeast corner of the liquor store at the back door. So we'll come back around, and that is just outrageously unfortunate. CHP got the wrong suspect there. So we're moving around here to where they said they have the suspect, where they had located him. They said they had him under the light. This is a really tricky one, though.
And the canine. And that guy in the black shirt, he looked, I don't know, a little heavier than this person. Yeah. That was apprehended. See, that's the guy. See, he's got on a short sleeve shirt. Desmond, he's got on a short sleeve black shirt
and a black
light
baseball
colored pants,
and black shoes.
And he certainly looks a little stockier.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible. Or vibe coding meets drag and drop freedom. We'll see about that. All right, let me try to make up a site to sell some, theoretical kombucha. Make me.
Wow.
Okay, CHP's coming over now to the liquor store, and they're going to wave people out of the way. We'll see if we can scooch any more to the left to get a better shot here. Pat and Juan, I have a feeling we're going to be following up with that other person there who was just involved in that altercation with CHP, who may have just been wrong place, wrong time, from all indications that we've seen from our video. But still trying to find the suspect that they said at last check was somewhere around this liquor store, possibly in the back, but we were trying to look back there. It's just an extremely tricky place to try to shoot, but they seem to think that he's back here somewhere.
When you focused in on this, when we saw him get out and run, there were two guys, and one guy had his car door open, and that's when I said, oh no, is he trying to carjack somebody?
He may be out of here.
And that car pulled off. That car pulled away. So, hopefully they have a better bead on this suspect, maybe being in the store, and hopefully not no one in danger. But I do remember seeing a car come out of that parking lot, and he ran, to me, towards those vehicles.
Towards the driver's side of that car.
And those drivers, those guys that were standing there, they didn't look too bothered. You know what I mean? They looked pretty calm. Not saying that they knew this person or not, but go ahead.
Pat and Juan, okay, so it's possible that person that we saw get tackled by the canine was involved in this, driver get out, but now CHP is saying that there were 3 people in that car, and they scattered. So it's possible. We just have to be kind of careful. We don't know, but obviously CHP is thinking that was one of the people in the car, one of the passengers. It's the driver, the one that we saw run over this way, that they're looking for. And they had said that they thought he was in the back of the building, and it looks like they're going to have to go through and clear the liquor store to get to the back. Hiding somewhere here, it's just unfortunately very difficult for us to get a good angle on this one. But they're going into the liquor store. They have the canine in there as well. They're going to clear that, and they're going to surround this liquor store.
Okay, but we can confirm that there were 3 people in that vehicle. Is that right?
And, right next to these apartment buildings as well. I mean, it almost looks like if the suspect wanted, he could maybe hop onto one of those balconies. But so far, we keep hearing the chatter that they're somewhere right in this area. So it's probably going to be easiest for the officers to go through, clear the liquor store, go out that back door there, and then hopefully, just get the canine on him right away finally bring this chaos to an end.
But we do understand, Desmond, that CHP has called for an ambulance to treat the guy that we saw get taken down by the canine there. So he is going to be receiving some kind of treatment.
Okay, we're hearing now that the suspect is complying. They've made contact with him. They're putting handcuffs on him as well. And so we're just going to wait to see the suspect will certainly come out here the front of this liquor store. And then that will be all 3 people in custody. And hopefully we're going to have a code 4 all clear on this very quickly.
So there's the guy that was bit by the dog, Desmond, the guy that they're now getting into custody. Where's that third person? Do we know?
Yeah, we weren't able to have eyes on that. We wanted to get the one suspect there, and saw them run through this liquor store. But apparently, that person, I don't know if they stuck with the car or if they just gave up pretty quickly. But we had heard them getting 2 of the 3 people into custody pretty quickly.
Here we go.
And here we go. Here they are. And that, and that does match the description of the suspect that we saw earlier.
But he's not wearing a black short sleeve T-shirt, or is that the guy that was bit by the dog?
Maybe he put on a hoodie. You wonder,
Maybe
because he did have on light pants.
Yep. And black shoes. Yep, you're right, Pat.
Yeah, so this person was definitely hiding in the alley, so this is definitely the person that they wanted.
The driver?
But, gosh. Yeah, we believe this is the driver, yes.
Oh my God.
Driver, yes.
Driver?
But, gosh.
Yeah, and I believe that's the driver. That pursuit came to an end. That pursuit came to an end. So thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. We'll see you with 2 back-to-back police chase videos. We'll see you later on the 2 back-to-back police chases that's happening in Southern California and LA several years ago. So two back-to-back police chases. More coming up. More 2 videos. Both of the videos coming up. We're gonna have 2 more back-to-back police chase videos coming up a little bit later on tonight, later this evening in the broadcast. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon. We'll see you later on tonight for my live streaming broadcast on my YouTube channel. So subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Drop in all of your comments. Please comment down below if you enjoy watching the live streaming for the past several days and several weeks. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See you later.